Dragons, Ospreys, Stad twice, and then 1872.
Mm-hmm.
That's not exactly the quietest preparation for the festive period.
No, it's a tough 6 weeks, but it's one we're looking forward to. I mean, being honest, we've not thought too far ahead. We've got Sunday, and then we've got 5 days back down in Wales to Ospreys. So there's it's a tough 6 days coming up as of 5 days coming up as of Sunday.
But as someone who is now head coach of Edinburgh, which is a club I know that's dear to your heart, that must be, from a personal point of view, must be very satisfying to think that that's my job now.
Yeah, definitely. No, we've had a good, clearly we had one blip, but there's been a lot of positive stuff, both on the pitch and off the pitch, and I can't fault the players at all. And we're starting to get a few guys back from injury. Our international players have done well out there, so there's lots of little things bubbling away. But we just need to, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but just keep focus, week by week, and doing our job and preparing and playing as best we can, and get some wins.
How is that positive nature of the way Edinburgh are playing at the moment? How much is that due to the fact that you're fielding a lot of young players?
Yeah, it's a kind of hard one to put your finger on. Quite often with the younger players, they bring you a few things, and sort of exuberance and energy is one of them. Often, a couple of mistakes can be the other, and that's the kind of mesh, isn't it? Yeah, it's how you build all that together, and we've got some solid campaigners in there as well who are helping us as well. But no, I mean, it's been great to see some of these young guys doing well, and I think that's the kind of that's what we're looking for and trying to achieve, and seeing these guys play well and getting them exposure stands us in good stead. Is
that from a coach's point of view, that blend of youth and experience? You think that guys like Fordy and Al in the front row particularly, and then you think of the people like Blair and Magnus, although Magnus is now an international. But I mean, is that kind of what you're always trying to achieve? Is there a sort of perfection in terms of the balance?
Yeah, no, I think you do need a blend of everything, and like you say, the two groups you just mentioned there complementing each other. And again, not just on the pitch. I think you need that off the pitch as well, in terms of your standards and how you train, and young guys looking to learn, and it's those guys that quite often are the role models and kind of set the precedents around the club.
How does a Duncan Hodge team play? If you were analysing your own team, what do you think the qualities are and the kind of the prerequisites for an Edinburgh team under Duncan Hodge?
Well, I mean, certainly with this team, we've not gone too far away from what had been before. I think we've just been trying to do everything a little bit better, and I think it's those little things have added up. So we've had a strong set piece, and defence early in the season probably wasn't where it needed to be, and that's coming back, and certainly in attack. It's been those little bits, putting together little bits of the jigsaw that are maybe providing quicker ball and a bit more space, and then we're sort of flourishing on the back of that. There's not been huge changes. There's potentially been some changes in how we train. So it's just that combination of everything, and then outlying that, there are some definite traits and behavioural stuff that we've identified and we want to see in terms of our our energy and how we behave on the pitch.
In terms of you mentioned Zebri, I know that probably would have hurt quite a lot as a coach, but you could also mention Quins and Ulster. So what did those two wins do for the team, and perhaps a realisation of what the team's potential could be?
Yeah, I mean, the Quins game was a big game because we'd had 2 games we'd won fairly easy. The Quins game was a marker against a top class team with stacked with Wales and England internationals and good international players with lots of experience. So that was a big marker in front of a big crowd. And then the Zebra game, we weren't miles away. We couldn't score, and we were naive in that last 10 minutes once we got ahead. The most pleasing thing from that game was then to bounce back against Ulster, again against a very, very good team. And I don't know, you could argue if we'd beaten Zebra, would we have performed like that against Ulster? I don't know the answer. But the most pleasing thing was that the lessons from Zebra were learnt the next week. We some great stuff for that first 60 minutes of that game, and we've now got to continue to learn and put that into action on Sunday.
But you'll know what that is, a lesson every time. You don't want to take a defeat like Zebra.
No, not at all. And that's you only want that sort of once in your life.
How do you win in Wales then? Because Welsh teams particularly are strong at home, and Ospreys, going to Swansea, going to Newport, they're difficult places to go to. What's the key to winning in Wales?
Well, you've got to go game by game, and we've got to respect our opposition, and tactically that plays a part. But we're pretty keen to establish what we're about as well, and the way we, in certain parts of the game, how we've been playing. We think we can impose ourselves on the opposition, no matter whether we're at home or away. So I think we've got to have that outlook. But yeah, they're tough games to play, and you approach them slightly differently.
Can I ask you a question about that? Just you coming into the job as head coach, you mentioned there that you've got to concentrate on what you're doing. Do you have to balance then the analysis on the opposition? Is it more important when you come in to work out what you've got, and perhaps the analysis is not top priority?
No, I mean, analysis is always a priority. It's how much you kind of message that, and that again, that can differ from week to week. It depends on the kind of environment, the mood, how you've played, and it's just getting that. There's some weeks when you might just think, look, this is about us. We need to fix our rights. That is the most important thing, and you may not, instead of. You may just drop off your analysis 10%. You're always going to respect the opposition. You always have to do your homework. There's no getting away from that. But you may just shift the emphasis a bit week to week.